I'm Tiffany, and this is Read by T-Rex. Nope. Nope. Take two. Hi, I'm Tiffany, this is Read by T-Rex, and here we read things. In a way to keep myself busy, for some reason, I've decided to start a second channel. I won't lie, I was actually supposed to start this channel months ago, but I didn't. I have many interests, and I wanted places to explore them all. Eventually, I want to do deep dive reviews of all of the Black Dagger Brotherhood books. I had that written in the script, and originally it was going to be a long-term project that I got to whenever I got to it. In reality, I think it's one of the projects I'm going to start with. I'll have a more in-depth video about why that book series, but in a brief explanation, I guess, I really enjoy a lot of books, and I enjoy being able to talk about them, and not always in a way that's positive. I think that even if you love something, there should always be room to criticize it. I'm going to review books here. Books that I've loved in depth, and the strengths and weaknesses of each one. The thing is, as I've said, I think it's possible to love something and criticize it at the same time. And that's my goal here. So this is the second channel. It has a completely separate focus than my first channel. There will be a few things I do the same, however. I'm gonna upload as close to weekly as possible on this channel as well as my first channel. A bunch of scripts will be written in advance, and I probably won't have physical copies of most of the books. As an adult, I mostly do audiobooks. It's very easy to put them on while I'm at work and have them in the background as I go about my business. Same thing for like cleaning or my cross-stitch projects, which I don't want to talk about. I don't do any of this for money. Like, YouTube is not a business for me. It's very 2009, the era I grew up in. I've done this shit for fun, and YouTube it wasn't a career option as far as I knew. Far as anyone knew, actually, at the time. So I will probably discuss all kinds of topics and say all kinds of things. There will be swearing and probably discussion of adult topics because I am in fact an adult and I do read adult literature. I think the over-sanitization of YouTube has made it very difficult to enjoy it the way that I enjoyed it when I was a kid. I'm not saying that some of those videos that I watched were ever appropriate for children, but I think the fact that there's not even an option for us to share swear words without it being like really, really bad is kind of stupid. It's all been catered towards like daytime TV channel rules, and it ruins the fun of a lot of things, I think. As an adult, I should be able to say fuck. Since this channel is also not to make me any money, I might miss weeks because I won't be as invested in it as a business. This is a hobby channel. My first channel is also a hobby channel. Like I said, I don't do any of this for money. And my actual paying job will take priority. I make good enough money that I can only work one job, which is a privilege I have never had before. And I'm not willing to give that up because it also gives me health insurance. And I live in America where, you know, you need it to go to the doctor and not die horrifically. So please be patient with me sometimes. I will do as much as possible to make sure that I get things uploaded weekly. My current plan includes recording batches of videos at a time. So today, for instance, I'm wearing this green shirt. I stole it from my boyfriend. I didn't steal it from a store or anything. It was originally my boyfriend's. He gave it to me one day, and I've never given it back. So I'll be wearing this in a bunch of videos because, like I said, I'll be recording videos at once. Locations of where I record my videos will change based on what's most convenient, what's going on. Today, the bedroom is a little bit cooler than the rest of the house. There is a heat wave happening this week because I'm recording the first week of September, the first full week of September, I should say, because technically the first was a Friday, whatever. And it is currently 95 degrees. I'm also supposed to be doing a photo shoot outside, and I don't know if I will, because like I said, it's very hot and humid and sticky. So that's less than ideal. And I'm aware that other places are hotter. That's not like a comparison thing. It's just to explain that this room gets the coolest, and this is the room that I will record in for the day, and that's going to be like 4 videos, or as many as I get through today. The other plan for this channel, specifically Read by T-Rex, is that I will be reading all kinds of things that I like. And I like a lot of things. I grew up in the unregulated internet era, I think we should call it, that early 2000s era of internet where everything was game. Shit was weird. I grew up in the era of scene bangs, so, like, oh, what a time. So many fond memories, honestly. But anyway, since that's the time of the internet that I grew up on, I also grew up reading all kinds of manga, but on illegal websites, which I do feel bad about, but honestly, some of the things that I've read aren't, like, easily accessible in the States, which is a tragedy because a lot of the stories are brilliant. I think there's a huge amount to be learned just from reading something that isn't your culture. And that goes for all kinds of things, too. It could be European books. I watch a lot of Doctor Who. And there's a lot of that, like, culture shock with, oh, that's a thing that they don't experience in other places. So that's really cool. That was a part of my love for it. A different part of my love for it was I actually got started reading horror manga, and wow. Growing up, Western horror movies were much more accessible because live in the United States, and we are very Western-centric. But reading horror manga changed the way I interacted with horror in general. I think for the more positive, it has made me more critical of a lot of things, and it, I think, forces me to think deeper about, like, how is this very Western, basically? How is this only told from one perspective? And there's a lot of cultures that make movies from their perspective. That's not a bad thing. But it's so interesting to see what people are afraid of in different cultures. It's fascinating. The idea that in, like, a lot of Western movies, for example, you interact with a ghost, you interact with a poltergeist. The movie Poltergeist comes to mind. And there is this mentality of you have to beat it. You have to win to get it to go away. And that's a thing you can do. You can get an exorcism or purify the spirit or make it cross on, and the spirit is gone, and now you're safe, I guess. From spirits, anyway. And in Asian horror that I've interacted with, there's a more ominous tone to some of their spirits. The legends of Aokigahara come to mind, and the idea that the spirits there are vengeful, and because they're vengeful, they're trapped, and they want to take you with them, and there is nothing you can do to appease them. They're just mad. and that's it. That's the entirety of the horror, is there is no beating it. Because some things in the world can't be beaten. How do you beat hatred? That's a really cool concept that I think we in the West are very, like, it's existential. It's very existential, and it's not something that maybe we want to deal with on a basis like that. A lot of horror movies that I've seen that get, like, really good reviews, I think they're okay. The Insidious movie franchise, I've watched all of them. I continue to watch all of them. The new one that just came out, The Red Door, I'll probably watch that one too. But in reality, it's meh. The movies are okay. I'll start a third channel someday that's gonna be watched by a T-Rex. God, don't let me do that. That's such a bad idea. I have a full-time job. Why am I doing this to myself? I just went on a rant I did not mean to go on. The beginning of that was the point. The beginning of that being that I've read a lot of manga. I've also read a lot of manhwa, graphic novels, comic books, all kinds of media. I like to consume everything. I like stories. So for me, it's less about reading, I guess, and more about consuming, if that makes a difference. Anybody who was, like, an escapist in school, basically, it was an escapism thing. It was not healthy. But here we are. I'm 28. I made it. We're fine. So I will probably dive into a bunch of that. I also, like I said, grew up, like, I was in high school in 2009. That was, like, my freshman year of high school. So some of my first interactions with manga that were easily accessible in English were Sailor Moon, Cardcaptor Sakura, Bleach, Naruto, One Piece, of course. One Piece is honestly still one of my favorites, I'm not gonna lie. So we'll probably do some deep dives onto that. I don't know if it's possible for me to do a deep dive onto One Piece. Again, it's still ongoing. The story has not concluded yet. It feels like it's approaching after halfway. It feels like it's approaching towards the end, which makes me nervous, because after that's done, I don't know what I'm gonna obsess over, strangely. Anyway, I made myself sad. It's fine. But yeah, so we'll probably do deep dives into that, things that I've read, things that I loved. For the manga, I think it's kind of hard to read them and review them on this channel without also doing some of the anime, honestly, which, again, I grew up watching Naruto. I know, it is a thing. But, like, it was a lot of fun. I'm not gonna apologize for that. A lot of what I'm gonna do on YouTube and what I plan to do in the future is, instead of being worried about what was embarrassing or cringy, I'm just gonna have fun with it like I did when I was a kid. I'm gonna go back and pretend that this is 2010 and I can post whatever I want on the internet, and it's fine, because the only people watching are gonna be, like, people that are also nerdy about the weird shit that I'm nerdy about. I kind of miss that internet culture, I'm not gonna lie. It was fucking weird, but I miss it. Anyway, it's a quick intro to me and this channel and what we're gonna be doing here. Me, whatever. It's gonna be a mix of things, and I'm not gonna apologize for that. I do plan on reviewing the entire Black Dagger Brotherhood series, but that is quite an undertaking, and I don't know how I'm going to approach it, because I don't want to be a Black Dagger Brotherhood channel. It's not the only thing I've read in life. It just happens to be an incredibly long series. It's incredibly long, and I have a lot of thoughts on each and every book. But I've been Tiffany. This is Read by T-Rex, and here we read things. I'm gonna hate this so much.